Hello everyone, my name is Miss Melissa Duya and I recently graduated from Miami-Dade College during the spring in class of 2020 with my bachelor's in exceptional student education. This year is actually going to be my first year as an educator. I will be teaching high school 9th grade ESC, mathematics, and English. I will be teaching algebra, financial algebra, geometry, and intensive math. During the remainder of this video, we're going to be discussing what differentiation is and what engagement is in my professional setting and how they relate to brain-based learning. According to the article of Differentiated Learning from Instructional Design, differentiation is when teaching is modified to meet each student's individual needs. So in the eyes of an educator, what this looks like is when we focus on how to personalize each of our students' individual way of learning. Now, the reason we do this is because our students actually learn at their own pace, and they learn whenever their brain makes a connection and whenever it's ready. Differentiated instruction is crucial when it comes to brain-based learning because our brain, aside from being social, our brain craves structure, and differentiated instruction has a lot of structure, and this is what the brain needs to continue growing at its own pace. Teaching is by far a one-size-fits-all approach. One thing I researched to be extremely important to educators that actually promotes brain-based learning is when educators really take the time to get to know their students at the beginning of the year. Getting to know what level each of their students are actually on by administering diagnostic testing or using graphic organizers to understand what your students actually know. Figure out what your students can complete independently and what actually challenges them. Assign interest surveys or journal entries to find out unique things that your students find fun and interesting and whatever sparks their curiosity. It's very important for us to remember that we're human, and because we are human, we tend to make mistakes. It's necessary for us to make mistakes so we can learn from them and learn not to make them again in the future. Not to mention, what one person may learn from one mistake, another person might not learn the same exact thing. We all learn at our own pace and our own time. Sometimes our students require us to repeat directions multiple times, while other students have the ability to just pick up their pencil and go off the first instruction, or may not need instructions at all. But either way, it's important to accommodate the learning needs of each of our students the same way you would do accommodations. Now we're going to talk about engagement. Engagement is when students show full connection in their lesson, when they're completely involved and curious towards their lesson. And it's just when you walk into the class and you notice that all of these students are completely motivated and eager and curious to continue learning. And you can do this by incorporating activities such as academic content scavenger hunts, or playing charades with your students, or maybe hangman with your students. Anything that builds a positive relationship between your students amongst themselves and your students with the teacher. It's extremely important for our teachers and our students to have a connection with one another in order to have an engaged environment. When your class is engaged, you see cooperation and you see collaboration within your classroom, within the students and the teachers. Activities that promote this can be think, pair, share about a certain topic, or you can also host debates about two interesting controversial topics. As educators, another thing that we need to remember is that we need to respect and understand the emotional level, the emotional state that our students are feeling at times, and we need to respect and express that it's okay to feel those ways sometimes, but we need to have them have a way of self-regulating their emotions. And the way I like to incorporate this in my classroom is by allowing my students to have an area where they're able to cool down, and this allows their emotions to be regulated and controlled By allowing your students to know that you're okay with them having an off day, because we're human and sometimes we have off days. As long as you let me know, I will accommodate you so that you can have some space, and then whenever you're ready, you can come back to the classroom. I feel like this is a great way to implement self-regulation of students' emotions, as well as creating an environment where students feel completely safe and supported to learn with one another. And with that being said, this concludes my video. Thank you.